everybody, and welcome back to the channel, where in today's video we are into more Assetto Corsa, and instead of doing some drifting today, we are actually doing some I guess it's racing. It's not really driving with other players, so it's not really racing. It's more like just doing some laps around Silverstone 2005 layout on the GT layout. I'm pretty sure this is the same layout that they used back in the 1992 Leman race, and which is what this is inspired off of. We're actually using the Mazda MXR-01. This is like based off of the Mazda pretty sure it's the XJR-14. After Jaguar went out of the Le Mans in 1991. Out of the World Series. I forget what it's called. Is it World GT Series? No, it's called the World Sports Car Championship season. And so, this car is basically like the Jaguar XJR-14. Except for the fact that it has like small modifications like the lights and some other features. And honestly, I don't really know much about this car because I learned about it today. But this was like the car that came after the Mazda 77B that they used. And it doesn't have a 4-rotor because it was banned from being used. But instead of using that, and because Mazda was like on like a budget, they used a Judd V10, which they called the MV10, I'm pretty sure. So then, well, if I'm getting a lot of these information right that were wrong, then I can put some details in. I've already kind of driven this car a bit, and it was actually like pretty hard to drive. The only thing I changed was tire pressure. Everything else is still the same. Like, I haven't like gone like a clean lap yet, and I keep on spinning. And then also on top of that, the spinning and like I can feel like everything with this car. This car is like actually like so hard to drive, and then I haven't really done it. I've driven Silverstone before on this game, but I haven't driven like this version of it. So then I'm still kind of trying to get used to it, and I'm pretty sure it should be 5-speed, just like the 787. And I have to see more clips on this car because I actually don't know much. I really don't know much about this car, but yeah, just gonna try and do my best here. Gonna kind of go a bit slower instead of just trying to go like full throttle as much as I really want to, just so I don't mess up much. At the same time, doesn't mean I won't be pushing it. Trying to get it in some sort of way. Oh jeez, this is a cool car though, because it comes right after the 787. Most of it is like taken from other companies like Judd and Jaguar, but with like its own like spin on it at the same time. I'm sure that it wasn't the same engine that Jaguar used, for one, but then also that it wasn't like all like the design is. Most of the design is the same, but not all of it. So it would be cool to learn more about it. I'm trying to figure out my time. I have like the time set up like, wow. I have the time set up like on the left, but nothing has shown up yet. This is Drifter Tries Racing. This thing goes up so fast. Okay. Nope. Oh yeah. It's also harder because of course there's no traction control on this thing, nor is there ABS. So if you like hear like the tire squealing, then that's because it has no ABS. So this is all like manual braking. I remember I used to do this a lot on Forza. But of course this is not Forza. for one. And for two, then I didn't play Forza on a wheel, so definitely harder. Oh my gosh. The throttle is so like sensitive. If I'm like stab it, then it's gonna like spin, because obviously no power steering or no like, I forget what it's called, the stability control system. So that it's obviously like not going. So there's like nothing to like help me. And you can tell how much like everything's felt with just like how the steering wheel's just like moving side to side like that. And so you have to really be like experienced to drive these cars, and I'm not the most experienced with races. I don't do a lot of like, just like, well, yeah, I don't really do a lot of laps on like driving like this, since drifting's like my main like thing. But like I would want to get into time attack as well. And honestly, driving these types of cars like puts me up to like a challenge, and I'd be willing to like one day be able to learn how to drive like cars like these. What's really cool is that to think about the fact that Mazda's like such like a cool company that they still race these cars today. Like you can still find the Mazda 787B on like the track, as well as like the RX-7 MSA car. And I know there was another version of the RX-7 as well, which I don't know much about it either, but I know that one of them has a 3-rotor in it. That 3-rotor kind of sounds like a VR, to be honest. But I like the sound of it compared to like all the others, because you usually hear like that kind of like, everyone says like beasting note. But this like sometimes like really stands out, like when Mad Mike pit the 3-rotor in a McLaren, and the anti-lag on that thing is crazy. I can see if I can try and get at least one clean lap with this guy. I am not like using the racing lines at all. Like this car is fast, and I'm not like able to like, it's not that I'm not able to get the car on the racing line, it's just more like me like having trouble driving the car, because this car is definitely like, capable of a lot. And that does make me kind of want to like experiment as I spin out there. I kind of want to experiment with which car is harder to drive, the 787B or this car. Knowing that this car, technically this car came before the 787B, since this was originally like the car that Jaguar used in Le Mans, but this car came after on the Mazda lineup. So it would be interesting to see. Ooh. I'm hoping I can get at least one clean run. And I was just thinking about when I try and drive these cars on controller, and these cars are still hard to drive on controller as well. Like controller does not make the difference in this sort of scenario. Besides the fact having a wheel, and instead of just using your fingers, then you're actually using everything else, and you're still going into the gravel. It's a growing opportunity. So once you master one thing, then you'll get bored at some point, or get comfortable, and then never want to go into something else. So if you're not growing, then we're dying. I should practice this racing more, especially because time attack is something that I'll be interested in doing one day. And of course this car will be harder than, would most likely be harder than any cars I can build like later on. But probably it would also be cool if one day I can build something like Formula Drifts back in, like, but like use it for like time attack, something like what Mad Mike did with the Mazda 3 that he did with Mazda and TCP Magic. But of course I want to do like my own thing as well. And I like the idea of building like unique cars that's not used like so constantly. So I feel like the same cars I kind of use when it comes down to I think this is like a way of it telling me to shut up. Okay, definitely doing this, it makes me realize how over time I can easily get trying to drive this vehicle and actually trying to do good. I feel like when I'm not doing so good, I'm like so determined to try and be able to do better, which is a good thing. To not like settle for less, to go for that top spot. This car is definitely like super hard to drive. Like some would say a handful, but it's definitely more than a handful. And I didn't get a single lap. I'm pretty sure I didn't go off track, so this is definitely like a hard car to drive. But I'm gonna try anyways off camera and see if I can get a good lap in. However, that's gonna be it for this video because I didn't even realize how long this went with me trying to actually get a good lap and me not being able to. Look at how much these wheels turn. Like I can't imagine this like being used to like drift or anything. Gives a good idea to be able to turn into a drift car. But anyways, enough talking. That's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and without further ado, good vibes only. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.